Hello, this is Carmel Lietz coming to you from Australia. I'd like to welcome you with a simple quote that I found from Katie Reed, which I find so appropriate for us all. Self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. This might become a very useful self-affirmation. My talk consists of extra notes to accompany my PowerPoint presentation, and I recommend that you read my abstract before you see the PowerPoint presentation. My talk is entitled Self-Care for Pianists, Mind-Body Maintenance and Recovery. So now to slide 2, which shows mind-body awareness sitting at the centre of the overview of self-care themes. That's because this relates directly to each one of these themes. But it also has more underlying significance than you possibly realise. Using mind-body awareness to stay attuned to your mind-body gives the necessary anchor for your well-being, your goals and achievements. This special awareness, which incorporates self-awareness, assists you to monitor and regulate your mind-body states and behaviours, meaning you can change them in everyday life. And of course, before and during practice, as well as for performance practice. We must not forget that our mind-body is a single entity and therefore interconnected. A constant interplay is occurring. The mind is affecting the body and the body is affecting the mind. When you understand how this unique mind-body operates that you have and learn to respect it, you can manipulate it for enhancement, and this can become the foundation for your success in life. Our mind-body is precious. It is our core instrument for life. I regard mind-body awareness as another version of Know Thyself, and it is in fact my signature for an approach to performance confidence. Now to mind-body fitness, which is essential for your optimal practice and performance, as seen on slide 3. When you play a piece of music, every part of you is involved, so it makes sense to be aware that your mental and physical states are directly affecting your practice and performance outcomes. Elite performers in all fields have to be aware of this to maintain their game and maintain their standard of excellence. Of course, your ideal mental and physical states cannot always happen in performance due to circumstances beyond your control. So as performers, we need plenty of self-belief and know how to let go and trust in our ability to do the best under any circumstances. Now to the theme of performance coach benefits to assist pianists in so many varied ways to get you to where you want to be. This is slide 4, entitled Instrumentalists Need a Performance Coach. Itzhak Perlman, a top international violinist, makes the following statement in an interview on YouTube called Itzhak Perlman's Musical Genius. Actually, it's musical power. He wouldn't like genius, though he is probably close to one, in which he's interviewed with his life partner and his declared performance coach, Toby Perlman. He states, "There is no tradition of instrumentalists using a performance coach, yet singers and sport people do. We know actors do too. In fact, most top performers and presenters in other fields do." In my experience, this seems to be a problem of understanding with music teachers and music institutions about what the role of a performance coach really is. It appears they believe either that they are not necessary for instrumentalists or having a performance coach could conflict with the teacher's training and might even infer that the teacher is not doing his or her job properly. Nothing could be further from the truth because the performance coach takes a complementary role and is dealing with aspects not to do with the teacher's role, instead looking at the whole person and the many varied aspects to do with personal challenges and the individual's psychological needs and general enhancement. More then can be seen on slide 4 of the benefits. Of course, performance coaches have their unique specialities, just as any health practitioner has. So it is worth finding out what these specialities are if seeking a coach. My specialities include a flexible training strategies program that encourages you to become your own coach. This contains 6 integrative mind-body health and fitness strategies for performance confidence, self-care and recovery, which need to be personalised by the user. That's because I don't believe that one size fits all. And I thoroughly enjoy working with the unique characteristics of each individual to assist that person to step into their personal strengths and stand out with them. I believe that it is time that pianists from college through to seasoned professionals benefit from the advantages gained by having 1 or more sessions with a performance coach. This may be for anything, from everyday maintenance, preparation for competitions, and perhaps even gaining a place in competitions, as some of my own clients have achieved, to any type of setback recovery needing assistance. Now to slide 5, self-care, the importance of monitoring your stress levels. Hans Selye's research on the stress response is highly relevant for all musicians, though still not known or understood. Therefore, I'm bringing it to your attention as I did in last year's World Piano Conference. Selye was the scientist who coined the term stress way back in 1936. Why is stress response important for pianists and indeed all musicians? Well, it is still unacknowledged that musicians' lifestyle is also their work life, these being intertwined. This is a demanding life with mostly long hours and practice that can never be properly remunerated, more hours than one will ever know, going back to childhood. This work life is so demanding that it is the norm for most to regularly have to go with long practice and preparation hours, lack of sleep, lack of exercise, and lack of healthy nutrition. They know it. And I meant to say, first of all, the students at institutions know it, but they're totally overwhelmed by it from all the extras that they know they have to get through. Add to this the plane travel often required for performance destinations when one becomes professional, and all these issues become heightened. This stress to the mind-body needs to be constantly monitored by knowing how to regulate the mind-body and knowing self-care strategies and techniques. States of stress can become chronic, continually happening over time, which eventually can upset one's daily life over a long period of time. So here are Selye's 3 stages of stress for your attention. Stage 1 is the alarm stage, accompanied by the flight-fight syndrome. Your response will determine what happens. Generally, your brain feels on high alert and you feel anxious, easily upset or stressed. Your nervous system is communicating with your brain and vice versa as you become sensitized and affected. Today, one is hearing regular reference now to the brain-gut axis, with the gut now being called the second brain because the brain and gut are connected, with your gut giving warnings also that you're stressed. You know that gut feeling that people always talk about? This gut instinct is in fact always right for you. Stage 1 can be stopped from proceeding to stage 2 with mind-body awareness, or if having lost confidence to achieve this by oneself, then a performance coach can support you and rescue you very quickly. Stage 2 is called the resistance stage, when we resist or adapt to the continued stressors or new stressors by going into overdrive, working harder to cope, but now generally adding stimulants to give what one thinks will give the extra energy needed. Generally, this means adding more coffee, sugar, and salty fast foods, and whatever else one thinks will possibly assist. Unfortunately, this overdrive behaviour causes inflammation in the mind-body, which simply undermines your health, creating more personal stress and tension. It is easy to slip from stage 2 to stage 3 without even knowing it, because there isn't far to go. The distance isn't that great because the elastic band of the mind-body is wearing out. Stage 3 is the exhaustion stage, when the mind-body shows clear signs of wear and tear. Burnout, chronic fatigue and depression are common at this stage, or perhaps health problems become apparent which are related to your particular sensitive areas. Burnout means that the adrenal system is burnt out, with the adrenal glands showing exhaustion. Chronic fatigue syndrome, commonly called CFS, is directly related to adrenal exhaustion. You can now see why it is important to catch yourself at the alarm stage, the first stage, because this means a quicker recovery. Unfortunately, most of us have to learn from our personal lessons. Conscientious high achievers can end up at stage 3. But the good news is that you can survive even stage 3. I was at that stage and overcame chronic fatigue syndrome many years ago. In fact, it was my own mind-body strategies program which also assisted me to heal. CFS taught me the essentials of self-care forever. So I am grateful for this major learning exercise, knowing now more about the mind-body intricacies, knowing the important warning signs, so I'll never go there again, as well as how the recovery process works best. This means I'm able to assist others. There's an example of level 1, the alarm stage, shown in slide 6, entitled Typical Scenario. This was for a final year honours pianist at university. I'm sure you can relate to this scenario. Professionals also experience this, trying to get through, as she says, a mountain of things. Fortunately, this person asked for my assistance, and in the space of only 8 weeks, was back on top with a change of habits and lifestyle, meaning that a positive work structure and confidence returned just in time to graduate with successful results. This only took 3 coaching sessions at a distance, and along with that, my book as a companion. Now I'll discuss the most common conditions seen on slide 7 that are experienced by musicians, including pianists. Stress and inflammation from stress are now acknowledged to be the root causes of all mind-body health problems and common conditions, especially chronic conditions. Anything chronic means inflammation. And of course, mind-body stress is involved. Inflammation is now being widely discussed online in international mind-body health seminars. Naturally, the 2020 pandemic adds to our general everyday fear, anxiety and stress. But here I'm talking about the common problems I see with clients and professional colleagues. Though stress comes at the top of the list, it is often seen together with anxiety and some depression to various degrees, all contributing, of course, to lack of confidence. The worrying thing, for me anyway, is a tendency to prefer a quick fix for these 3 issues by taking beta blockers to get rid of the problem quickly. My own research trials revealed this 18 years ago, and this has only become more common. It was not so long ago that I was giving a talk to tertiary students, and after that talk they came to me and said, with the first question, "Carmel, what do you think about beta blockers?" So I said, "You don't need them. You need my strategies." Anyway, however, some students themselves realise that a pill dosage is difficult to monitor and does not solve the root cause, whereas suitable management strategies can solve these problems, thereby not having to lose the adrenaline, which can be channeled positively to give the necessary mind-body edge and confidence for performance. It's interesting in my trials, one of the students said she was using small amounts of beta blockers, and of course she noted that it was difficult to monitor the dose, but she admitted that she didn't have much energy, or it felt dull while she was performing. And she said, it even feels something like I could be doing the washing up. So how sad is that? And then she added, I feel I shouldn't have to deaden myself to be a good violinist. So that was a wonderful self-realization for her. Hypoglycemia is a condition of low blood sugar levels. Quoting now from researchers noted in my thesis, musicians need to be aware that eating regularly and healthily prevents the effects of low blood sugar during and after practice or performance. The symptoms are many and varied, such as headache, dizziness, anxiety, trembling, increased heart rate, fatigue, blurred vision, and indecisiveness. All of these lowering stress tolerance and, of course, interfering with performance. This can be a precursor of diabetes, if not controlled. But eating foods high in sugars and missing meals can cause hypoglycemia. And in fact, for me, hypoglycemia was the trigger to my chronic fatigue syndrome. And it was simply that I would forget to eat because I was terribly focused on what I was doing. So that was another lesson for me. And hypoglycemia is directly interrelated with chronic fatigue syndrome as a precursor. The unexpected can happen when one is stressed or thinking absent-mindedly, and this can occur when you're absent-minded, and fractures then are absolutely devastating for musicians. I have overcome 2 fractures to be back to where I was before as a performer, so I like to relate this. And that's, of course, with much physiotherapy. Acupuncture suited me very well, and nutritional supplements I find essential for healing, along with, of course, my mind-body strategies that assisted me in my recovery. Now to arthritis, which can often result in pianists over the years. One always hears about, it's overworking the fingers, but the main contributing factor is an overly acidic body. A magnesium complex powder can be of great assistance. An anti-inflammatory diet called gluten-free nutrition is the main solution. Not many people know that wheat and dairy are inflammatory and cause many health problems. My research studies into elite athletes' nutrition revealed that they bring up their immune system very quickly by simply eliminating wheat and dairy. And just this year, new research confirmed that wheat containing gluten and often residues of pesticide are now causing not only digestive problems, but also cardiovascular health problems. Thankfully, a gluten-free diet is becoming the norm for many who care about their health and performance. Added to that, stress-prone diet, which I've just mentioned, are these ingredients, which I first wrote about in my thesis, quoting many researchers. Caffeine, sugar, and normal salt added to most bought foods all cause problems for musicians' practice and performance. Caffeine, being a stimulant, affects motor control, so should be avoided in practice in the lead-up to performance. Sugar is empty nutrition, containing no vitamins. In fact, although it gives a quick boost, it robs the body of the store of B vitamins. B vitamin deficiency then creates symptoms of irritability, general nervousness, and anxiety, with the process only made worse by further stress. B complex vitamins being anti-stress vitamins you need every day as a musician. Bs also keep the brain and memory sharp. A full list of nutritional supplements recommended for musicians' needs are listed in my book. Nutrition is outlined as one of the 6 strategies in my program. with the ideal performance nutrition for practice and performance. One is trying to alkalinize the body to offset the inflammation caused by stress. So the type of vitamin C needs to be the non-acidic form, that is, calcium ascorbate, not ascorbic acid. Salty foods need to be minimized or avoided because the body stores salt. Excessive salt causes fluid retention, which causes increased nervous tension leading to higher blood pressure. Sea salt or rich mineral Himalayan salt are the only acceptable small quantities of salt, but not before performance. Research since the 1990s demonstrates that nutrition can alter mood and neural sensitivity, which can change our reaction to stressors. In 1997, Robertson and Monti wrote a book called Natural Prozac, in which they show that one can alter one's brain chemistry and learn to release the body's own antidepressants through diet, activities and thoughts that produce uplifting chemicals in the brain. I was fascinated by this book, and much of it came into my research and of course flowed over into my work and into my book. This leads nicely into the next slide of mind-body maintenance, daily and weekly. This is slide 8, showing the images of how to do this. Of course, it's not just knowing strategies. You need to know how to use them and when to use them. It is absolutely necessary, though, to take regular time out, to nurture the mind-body and to recover after any stressful event. But every day, just taking a break is so helpful even for your work. And so this can be a deep breathing exercise just to recover momentarily from any stressful thoughts. And actually at the same time, you're analysing, thinking and reflecting, where am I at in my practice? What could I do better? Maybe I could try this, maybe I could try that. And so it's a very useful exercise just to step back and use that moment or two to de-stress, in fact, from stressful thoughts. A day of recovery, though, should be the norm after a concert performance, and an hour every day to replenish as well, as at least one day a week free, or 2 half days. As your mind body is your essential instrument for life, as I explained before, this means, as I say in my book, paying attention to your basic mind-body needs, which are unique to you, and that includes your sensitivities. I'd like you to just think about this. A peaceful environment, getting sufficient sleep and exercise, eating healthily, unprocessed foods regularly, they can all contribute far more than you think to your well-being, energy levels and work outcomes. So it's worth thinking about. These images represent my strategies for mind-body fitness, maintenance and recovery, all leading to performance confidence. However, as I said, just simply knowing the strategies isn't really enough. I want to tell you that the book brings together my backgrounds in performance teaching, coaching and performance research to benefit musicians. You can also email me with your questions or inquiries for coaching assistance, and of course anything about this talk. I have a website blog and welcome your engagement and comments about my posts, the latest being on attentional focus and the types you need in performance. I'd be very interested to know the most desired topics that are pressing issues for professional performers and tertiary institution performers. That's because I'd like to have a series of webinars and you could be of great assistance and be part of this. So I welcome your ideas and comments. Looking at the final slide of this, showing my performance model, I hope that you will benefit from this innovative performance model for mind-body fitness and confidence, which has been developed over many years. And now it's time for me to say, I wish you every success on your performance journey. Thank you for watching.